Okay, Professor Jim Schultz here from my Finance 512 class. I wanted to go ahead and shoot a video thanks to an email I got from the resident class pin bar ninja, Tim himself. He alerted me to a little something happening here on the Nike daily charts. And so you can see this guy right here. That is where we are headed in this video. And so I wanted to go ahead and shoot this video kind of showing you guys how to set up another technical analysis trade. Reading through your mid-course evaluations, some of you said, hey listen, I'm still kind of struggling with these ideas. I'm struggling with the software a little bit. So I thought maybe we'd kill a couple birds here with one stone and go ahead and take a look at this Nike situation. Alright, so what do I notice? Alright, well obviously from left to right, it's a pretty clearly defined uptrend. But now look at what has happened since Nike made its high at 80.26. We have a high, we have a low, we have a lower high, we have a lower low. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to go ahead and put in some text notes there. And before I do that, I'm going to maximize this area just to make this a little easier on myself. Up there, I've got a high. Right there, I've got a low. Right there, I've got a lower high. And right there, which also was a pin bar, I've got a lower low. Alright, so what do I see? It looks like high, low, lower low. We could be in a downtrend. Okay? Could be. Of course, you can never be certain. Now, here's what's interesting. Look at where this pin bar is situated. It is sitting right at the most recent level of resistance, which actually was a tiny level of support, but I'm not too crazy about that. But that's a pretty clearly defined level of resistance. So I want to draw a price level. I'm going to drop it down just right at this high. No, let's go like right there. Again, it's not a perfect science. That's pretty good. What do you see? I mean, look, man, that thing almost hit it to the penny and then retraced. So again, this is a pin bar, right? So remember what a pin bar means. At one point today, the bulls had control of this guy. And then when it hit this level, the bears, they were all sitting here probably with a bunch of limit sells, and they took this guy lower. They just flat out rejected that price and would not allow the price to stay up there. So we could be in for a nice downward leg in Nike. So this is kind of what I'm looking at to set up my trade. Again, just basic simple stuff, right? A little trend analysis, simply one resistance level, although we also have, if you actually were to look at the high of that candle, which is in the upper left hand of my screen there. If I move my cursor, it's going to go away. But if you look at the high of this candle, it's actually $79.01. So you also have kind of a big round number playing in right here with that $79 level. So I'm going to auto zoom back out to my original chart here just to get a better feel for what's going on. So here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'd recommend, and here's actually what I'm going to do myself. I would go ahead, assuming that the opening price tomorrow is not too different from the closing price today, I would go ahead and just execute this guy at the bell tomorrow. There's no reason to wait. There's no need to wait. Just go ahead and get short at this closing price or tomorrow's opening price. Because what are we looking for? We can get short here, and then we can essentially target some level way down here. Right? If you're willing to wait and be patient and let this thing play out over probably a couple of weeks, because these are daily bars, so this is going to take a couple of weeks for your hypothesis to be proven right or wrong. You can target down here. You can target this 70 level easily, and then you know what? I would just go ahead and put your stop above this high. So don't even put it above this high. Put it above this high. Give yourself a second level of breathing room. I'd put it up at about maybe, I don't know, 80.5, 80 3/4, something in that range. I'll probably put it up around 80.55 or maybe something like that. So if we get in, the close of this candle is 78.42. So assume we get in at 78.50 and I put my stop at 80.50. I'm risking $2, and I put my limit buy order down here at about 70. I'm gonna gain $8.50 for every I'm gonna gain 850 every time this trade goes my way. I'm gonna lose $2 every time it doesn't. That's a 4-to-1 risk return profile. That's pretty good. Alright, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna end the video here. I'm gonna show you guys. I've already got an OCO video out there, so this is really gonna be no different from the one that's already out there. But let's go ahead and do it again just for practice. How can I put in one order that's going to do basically three things? It's going to get me in at the opening price tomorrow. It's going to set up my stop buy up here, and it's going to set up my limit buy down here. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to right click, go to sell custom with OCO bracket. What this is doing is this is how you set up an OCO bracket along with an order to establish a new position. And we're establishing a short position, so we're going to use the sell custom key here, or sell custom option. And so the OCO stands for one cancels other, which simply means that your stop and your limit will be linked so that when one of them gets hit, the other one will automatically cancel. So I click that guy, and then you see I've got 3 boxes that automatically populate. What I'm going to personally do, I'll go ahead and let you guys into some of my secrets here. I think I'm going to do about 300 shares on this guy. Thanks, Tim. I hope this works out for us. So, I'm going to get in with a market order. I don't want to run the risk of not getting in at the open tomorrow. So I'm going to go ahead and put this guy in as a market order. Now, these next 2 orders, the 2 buys, one has to be a limit, the other has to be a stop. Alright, so my limit, I'm going to put this guy at, I'm going to put it at about 70.50. I'm not going to be greedy and try to go for the clean 70. You could go for 67 or 68 here, thinking that it's going to form a lower low. But I'm going to go for about 70.50, and then I'm going to put my stop at, like we talked about, we'll go 80.50. I'm pretty comfortable with those levels. Okay. Now this STD, don't even worry about that. That's going to be basically what these are. Do you want the stop price to be the bid price? Do you want it to be the midpoint behind the bid price? Or I mean the midpoint behind between the bid and the ask? Or do you want it to be the last traded price? In the grand scheme of it, of what we're trying to do, it's really not going to make that big of a difference. So I usually just leave it at STD. When I'm trading for real, I'm a little bit more careful with that. But even then, it's not that big of a deal. But one thing you do want to do is make sure both of these are GTC. Because that means good till canceled, so these orders will be out there until you actually physically go in and cancel them, which is what we want. So I'm going to confirm and send. I'm going to send this order. And once you send it, you'll see it show up right on your charts. Okay? Which is nice because you can actually now visually see, is that indeed where you wanted to put your orders? And it is. It's exactly where I want it. So this is it. This is the short pin bar that we clearly see on the daily charts for Nike. It is February 26th. I hope that we all make a whole bunch of virtual cash.